Hi everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you all about how to handle items that are cross-posted to multiple platforms. So I have a couple of different videos that demonstrate how to cross-post items from eBay to Poshmark, because when you're listing on eBay, the two other platforms that you're most likely to want to cross-post to is either Poshmark or Mercari. So I do have videos on both of those that I will link up here in the iCards if you are interested in going to watch those videos. So anytime I mention cross-posting items from one platform to another and having the same item listed for sale on more than one platform, I get inundated with questions about it. People want to know what happens if it sells on both platforms. How do you put it there? How do you take it off? How do you know which items are cross-posted and which ones aren't? So this video is going to answer all of those questions. And if you like these kind of videos, please do give this video a thumbs up. That way it lets YouTube know and it lets me know that you like content like this and I can continue to make it. And this video is brought to you by $1.com. $1.com is a leading site in the world of dollar stores. Their website has thousands of items that start at only $1, and the site is perfect for resellers that are looking to find inventory that is brand new quality, but at a low enough buy cost to where you can flip it online to make money. I have been shopping on the $1.com site for a couple of years now. It is a site that I automatically go to when I'm looking at doing online arbitrage. It's also a site that I go to if I'm needing a particular item for my home, just because I know if $1.com has it, it's going to be cheaper than any other site out there. And if you use my coupon code Lindey5, it will get you $5 off your purchase of $35 or more and free shipping, and that coupon code is not for first-time users. If you've bought off $1.com before, you can still use my coupon code and get an additional $5 off and free shipping on your order. All right, now let's talk about all things cross-posting. All right, so let's address the first question, which is, do you have to cross-post your items by hand, every single one at a time? The answer to that right now is yes. Now, there are some platforms that are being developed to do this for you. One of the biggest one right now is Sellhound, but there is a fee for that. So if you're wanting to use services like that, you do have to pay. I personally have not tried Sellhound. I have heard mixed reviews, and so I'm just so used to cross-posting on my own at my convenience. I haven't really felt the need to try Sellhound yet, but there is another one that's called Vendoo. I have signed up for the beta, and honestly, the very first item I tried to cross-post to Poshmark, it kept timing out and failing, so that doesn't really say good things for the platform, but you know, I just tried the once and then I just let it go, but who knows, it could end up being a wonderful thing. But for right now, I would suggest just manually cross-posting items to the other platforms. Again, I will link it up here in the iCard so that you can see how to manually cross-post from eBay to Poshmark and also eBay to Mercari. So the answer to that one is yes. As of right now, I recommend cross-posting each one individually. Now the question is, when should you cross-post your items over to another platform? So now, because it is your business, it is ultimately up to you to decide how you want to spend your time. I personally do not cross-post every single item to every single platform as soon as it is listed. I find that some items are going to sell very quickly regardless of which platform it's on. So I just prefer to list items straight to eBay first, and then I will only cross-post it to another platform if a certain amount of time has passed and it has not sold on eBay. Now, as for that time frame, that I really don't have like a set time frame. I don't really say if it hasn't sold within 2 weeks, I'm going to put it on Mercari, or if it hasn't sold in 30 days, I'm going to put it on Poshmark. Really, I have no rhyme or reason to my decisions. It's just kind of what I feel. And mostly that is because I don't spend a lot of time cross-posting. I, for the most part, will just put one item on eBay because I went through this phase where I was cross-posting almost everything over to Poshmark from eBay or to Mercari from eBay. And it was starting to become personally very, very frustrating for me to remember to remove items off of the other platform after they sold. And then when I started getting into health and beauty, I was finding that it was just selling so well on eBay that there was really no point to me cross-posting to multiple platforms. But now with items that I have multiple quantities of, I will go ahead and almost immediately cross-post those items to other platforms because I have more than one of them. So, you know, let's say I have a particular kind of mascara. If I have 20 of them, I will probably go ahead and have them listed on eBay and then pick Poshmark or Mercari, because when it sells, there's still going to be more left. So kind of putting it on multiple platforms spreads out my buyer base a little bit more. I just need to make sure that I'm keeping track of the quantities when one sells, because if it sells on eBay, eBay keeps track of the quantities and it lowers. But if it sells on Mercari or Poshmark, my eBay quantity is going to remain the same. So I will have to go in there and manually adjust the quantity, which means that it does need to be kept track of. And that's one of the things, until you get a platform that's reliable, that you like, where you can juggle cross-posting items onto multiple platforms that automatically removes the listings for you or adjusts the quantities for you, only at that time is it going to be easy. Until that time, you have to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, you are keeping track of quantities, and you are removing items from platforms when they sell on another platform. I feel like all of that is really confusing. In other words, if you have one item on eBay and Poshmark, if it sells on eBay, you have to remember to go remove it off Poshmark and vice versa, or Mercari. Another reason why I tend to wait and not cross-post items immediately after listing them on eBay is because of the time involved. I have very limited time to get listings up every single week, and at the fastest, I can cross-post an item from either eBay to Mercari or to Poshmark in about 90 seconds. So if you are cross-posting items and it takes you only 90 seconds, which is about as fast as I think anybody could go by hand, that's getting 40 items cross-posted an hour if you don't stop. Like, if you don't stop, if you don't slow down, you could do 40 in 1 hour. Or I can take that hour and list 10 brand new items on eBay. With the time that I have available, I would rather use that precious hour to get more new listings up rather than cross-post them over to other platforms immediately, because the likelihood of them selling in a timely manner on eBay is pretty high. In my opinion, of course. You know, there might be an item that I list to eBay and I assume it's gonna sit for a really long time, so in that case, I might go ahead and immediately cross-post it to other platforms, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim, because I would rather just like get the new listings up and not worry about cross-posting right away. But if you don't have a lot of items to list and you have the time to cross-post, it might be a good idea for you to cross-post immediately. Again, it's all about your business and your time and how you want to run your business. This is just all my opinion and what I personally do. All right, now let's answer the question, what happens when it sells? Do you have to remove it? How do you do that? When do you do that? So now I kind of already touched on this. Yes, you do have to manually remove the items from a platform if it sells on a different platform. So if you have a single item that's listed on both eBay and Mercari and it sells on eBay, you do have to go remove it from Mercari or Poshmark or vice versa. Whatever platform it did not sell on, you will have to go manually remove that listing, because if you don't, you do run the risk of selling it twice. That leads me to the next question. What happens if you sell the same item on multiple platforms? So now my first response to this is, That is very highly unlikely. The likelihood of the same item selling at the exact same time on multiple platforms, I've never heard it to happen. I've personally almost done it though, so I shouldn't talk too much. It might have been the same buyer though. I think that's why it happened. It was the kind of situation where I had a pair of jeans and the jeans were listed on Poshmark and eBay, and I had received an offer on eBay and then someone bought them on Poshmark, and so I had to basically remove the listing off eBay right away because it happened within about 20 minutes of each other. And I'm almost thinking it was the same buyer because it was just so close together on two different platforms, and it was a pair of jeans that had been listed for a really long time. I would find it hard to believe that suddenly out of nowhere, this pair of BKE jeans just became so popular that two different people wanted to buy it within a 20-minute window on two different platforms. That's just really hard for me to believe. I think it was the same buyer. Will I ever know? Probably not, but that's my assumption. So now, what do you do if that does happen? There's a couple of different ways that you can handle the situation. So you want to look at your money and you want to look at your seller status. So let's talk about the money part first. Did you sell it on one platform for a higher dollar amount than the other? What about the platform fees? Which platform did it sell on that's going to make you the most money? So if I have this candle and it sold on eBay for $20, but it sold on Poshmark for $25, I've got to do some math, right? Because Poshmark takes 20%, eBay only takes 10%. But the cost of shipping it is going to be more on eBay because on Poshmark there's discounted shipping. So from there, I would really do the math. I would, take the amount that I sold it for, less the cost of fees, less the cost of shipping, less the cost of goods to see what my profit is. And depending on which platform it has higher profit, that's gonna be the one that I keep the sale and decline the other one. But that being said, some platforms have penalties when you cancel orders. For instance, Poshmark. As far as I know, you can cancel an order on Poshmark and there's zero repercussions. Same thing with Mercari. If you cancel an order on Mercari, I think there are zero repercussions. But on eBay, you can get a defect. And now one defect here or there might not mean a lot, but when you start piling up the defects, eBay will notice, and it can start having a direct effect on your eBay seller status. So if you are top rated, having too many defects on your account can knock you down and take away your top rated status. Then you have to ask yourself, are those defects really worth the extra $2 that I would get keeping the sale on a different platform? So in the case of those jeans that I almost sold on two different platforms, I personally would have kept the sale on eBay and canceled the sale on Poshmark because there's no repercussions on your account with Poshmark. I don't think, I haven't canceled very many orders over there, so I don't know for certain, but it appears as though there's no real repercussions when you cancel a sale on Poshmark or Mercari, but on eBay, there's stricter repercussions. So that's why I would have picked eBay over those two other platforms in the event that that happened. Also, this is another reason to wait and not immediately cross-post your item on multiple platforms. Because if you have an item that's so hot that it could sell on two platforms at the same time, then you might as well just list it on one platform and let it sell rather than taking that extra 90 seconds or 2 minutes to cross-post it to a different platform. Why waste that time cross-posting it if it's hot and it's gonna sell on whatever platform you put it on first? And that's one of the things I'm constantly thinking when somebody asks me, what happens if it sells on two platforms at the same time? My thoughts are, if it's sold and two people wanted it at the exact same time, there was no point to cross-post it. You might as well just list it on one platform and wait for it to sell. But things do happen, and I just think that waiting to cross-post your items just a little bit to see if it sells fast on one platform is just one of those precautions that you can take to avoid that entire situation. Now the question, when do you delete the items off of the platform if it sells? And you, again, I say, I've already said this multiple times now, you want to make sure that you delete it from the platform it did not sell on so that it does not double sell. But the question I get is, when do you do that? Do you have to, you know, do it immediately after the item sells or risk having it sell again? Or do you do it once a week? Do you do it once a day, twice a day? When to do it? Me personally, if I have the time and it's right there in my face, I'll just do it immediately. You know, if I'm looking at my phone and something sells on Mercari or Poshmark, I will just, if I have the moment, I will just immediately go over to eBay, search my eBay store, find it, and end the listing or adjust the quantity, whichever one I need to do, and move on with my life. That way I don't have to stress over it. But there are times that things sell and you're busy. So what I tend to do is, if I'm shipping on other platforms, and I say other platforms because everything is listed on eBay. So I know if something sells on Mercari or Poshmark, I know that that item is also on eBay, because eBay is like the hub. Like, everything is listed on eBay. So if something sells on Mercari or something sells on Poshmark, I know it needs to be taken off of eBay. So if I need to ship something for Poshmark, or if I need to ship something on Mercari, then in the mornings when I do my shipping, if I hadn't removed that item off eBay or adjusted the quantity, when I'm doing my shipping in the morning is when I will do that, because I am right there in the middle of printing shipping labels and shipping those items from the other platforms. So I tend to do it, I guess, once a day then. If I don't do it immediately, I'll just do it while I'm doing my shipping, because it's right there in my face that an item sold on either Poshmark or Mercari and it needs to come off eBay. The next question that I get about cross-posting is, how do you keep track of what items you've cross-posted and what items are not cross-posted? So I have never cross-posted every single item from eBay to another platform. For me, it's just too time consuming. There's just too many items to juggle. So there's, you know, maybe a reason why I would go ahead and cross-post it to another platform. Maybe there's better shipping rates on a bigger item. So if I have a bigger item on eBay, I'll go ahead and put it on Mercari or Poshmark just because the shipping is better. But like, regular run-of-the-mill bread and butter items, I'm probably not going to cross-post. But keeping track of those items is a challenge for a lot of people. And so I'm just gonna tell you how I have done it in the past. And I'm really curious to hear, go ahead and put in the comments below if you have a different way of doing it, because the way I do it might not work for everybody. So if you help out and put the way you do it in the comments below, then other people can read those comments and we can all kind of take little bits and pieces of information and work out some sort of an inventory system or a cross-posting system that works for all of us. So I've done it in two different ways. The first way being, I just put it right in the title, and I put it down at the very, very end of the title, because the very end of your title is the least relevant wordage in your title. It's, you know, all of the title is searchable, but the last couple of words are really irrelevant, and when people are looking, they don't really look at that last little bit. So I might put a letter in the title. I might put an M for Mercari or a P for Poshmark, or if there is a certain inventory bin or a certain inventory number at the end of that, because that's also how I would keep track of inventory. You know, I might have bin A and it'll just be like an A at the end of the title. So I might do AP, so I know that that item is bin A and it's also cross-posted to Poshmark. So that's kind of how I do it. I used to do that with jeans all the time. There would be an inventory number of like 745, and then if it was cross-posted to Poshmark, it would just be 745P, and that way I knew when it sold on eBay, it had a P on it, so I knew, oh, that's on Poshmark. Same thing with Mercari, it would be 745M. So when that item would sell on eBay, I would see that inventory number on the title and I would be like, oh, that's cross-posted to Mercari. I need to go remove it. There is also a custom SKU area of your listing, and that is not visible. But the problem with using the custom SKU area is you have to actually open up the listing in order to see that custom SKU. At least in my experience, you have to, unless eBay has done an update and now you can just see it when you're scrolling, but I don't think so. Whenever I pull inventory personally, I don't open the listings, I just scroll through. That's why I like to put mine in the title, because you don't have to click into the listing, it's just there in the title. But if you use the custom SKU section to make note of that, you have to physically open up the listing to see the custom SKU number. But that area is there for you to keep track of specific things in your inventory. And then the final question that I get is, do I have to cross-post items to multiple platforms? And this I have to give a resounding no. No, you absolutely do not have to cross-post items into multiple platforms. There is this idea, and it is an idea that I stand behind, that says that you want to diversify. You don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket. While I agree with that to a certain extent, I do believe that if you put too much pressure on yourself to cross-post items to several different platforms, you're going to end up overwhelming yourself and you're going to end up making mistakes. If you have one item cross-posted to more than one other platform, that's when there's going to be mistakes made. Because then when an item sells, you're not just having to remove it from Poshmark, you're having to remove it from Etsy and Mercari and Depop, or whatever other platform you might have cross-posted it to. There are so many different platforms for selling items now. If you try to spread it out and get to all of those buyers, you're going to end up stressing yourself out and you're going to make mistakes. So if you're going to cross-post at all, I recommend just doing 2 different platforms. Pick your hub, that's what I do. I have the one platform that I list everything on, and that would be eBay. And then I would do eBay and Poshmark. If I don't think an item would do well on Poshmark, then I would do eBay and Mercari. You know, if you don't do eBay at all and Poshmark is your hub, maybe cross-post Poshmark to Mercari, or cross-post Poshmark to eBay. You know, it just depends on you and your preference. The 2 platforms that I do not recommend cross-posting on are eBay to Amazon or Amazon to eBay. And the reason for that is because both of those platforms are so big, you really run the risk of selling an item twice, especially if you're talking about Amazon. Amazon is such a beast all on its own. If you're just listing that item on Amazon, that's probably gonna be good enough. You're asking for trouble if you list an item on Amazon and immediately put it on eBay, because chances are it's going to sell on Amazon, and then if it sells on eBay at the same time, you have a really big problem, because both of those platforms are very strict with their defects. They don't want you canceling orders. So if you're going to sell on both Amazon and eBay, you need to make sure that you're selling separate items and not simply cross-posting the same item on both of those platforms. Have your Amazon products, have your eBay products, and then the eBay products you can cross to Mercari or Poshmark or Depop or Etsy or whatever other freaking platform they come up with this new year. Or you can just stick with one item on one platform. That's not to say that you can't do another platform, but if you don't want to worry about cross-posting the same item to multiple platforms, maybe keeping track of it stresses you out too much, or you're too worried about selling the same item on 2 platforms, maybe have set inventory for multiple platforms. Maybe you have certain products you want to sell on Amazon. Maybe you have certain things that you want to be on eBay. Maybe you just want to do clothing or makeup on Poshmark. You know, if you want to diversify that way and have different items on different platforms, that's fine. You absolutely don't have to cross-post the same item to multiple platforms if that's not for you. But all of that being said, I do think it is wise to diversify. So you just need to decide what you're comfortable with. All right, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I answered all of your cross-posting questions. If I forgot any, put them down in the comments below. Let me know what questions you still have about cross-posting. I was pretty sure I answered them all, but I'm sure I might have forgotten some, but those were the most asked questions about cross-posting. Do please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you like content like this. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to check the video description. I will put some useful information in there, as well as the link to $1.com. Don't forget code Lindey5 for $5 off a $35 purchase and free shipping. And do remember to subscribe if you would like to see more content, and I'll see you guys with my next video. Bye-bye.